Russia stated that it will withdraw from an international treaty allowing observation flights over military facilities following the United States' exit from the pact. Russia's foreign ministry said in a statement that the U.S. withdrawal from the Open Skies Treaty last year significantly upended the balance of interests of signatory states. It indicated that Moscow's proposals to keep the treaty alive after the U.S. exit have been cold-shouldered by Washington's allies. The treaty was intended to build trust between Russia and the West, especially the U.S., by allowing the Accord's more than 36 signatories to conduct reconnaissance flights over each other's territories to collect information about military forces and activities. U.S. President Donald Trump declared Washington's intention to pull out of the Open Skies Treaty in May, arguing that Russian violations made it untenable for the U.S. to remain a party. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer All Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. The Chinese Air Force, PLAAF, has unveiled the first visuals of the twin-seat variant of the J-20 stealth fighter. The video released by the state-owned Aviation Industry Corps of China, AVIC, shows 4 twin-seat J-20 fighters flying in a formation. This was released on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the original aircraft's maiden flight. Viewers may note that the fighter jet was flown for the first time in January of 2011. According to state-owned Global Times, the twin-seat J-20 could spawn more variations that are equipped with device corresponding to these tasks. A Chinese military analyst told the Global Times that the additional seat indicates that an additional pilot will be assigned with more complicated tasks, such as electronic warfare, command of wingman drones, or tactical bombing. As per reports, the variant will have domestically manufactured engine, which means that China will no longer rely on Russian engines. Iran's parliament has warned that it will expel United Nations inspectors from its nuclear facilities from February 21st unless economic sanctions imposed by the United States are relaxed. This comes after the Iranian government decided to boost its uranium enrichment program to produce 20% enriched uranium at the Fordow fuel enrichment plant. Viewers may note that the U.S. had unilaterally withdrawn from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA) nuclear deal and imposed sanctions on Iran. The Trump administration was of the view that Iran was misusing the deal. Regarding the threat to expel inspectors, Iranian Member of Parliament Ahmad Amirabadi Farahani stated, "According to the law, if the Americans do not lift financial, banking, and oil sanctions by the 21st of February, we will definitely expel the IEAE inspectors from the country and will definitely end the voluntary implementation of the additional protocol." The decision as per with the strategic measure for the removal of sanctions, which was adopted by the Parliament in November to press for intensified nuclear development. These measures were adopted in response to the assassination of top Iranian nuclear scientist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh. It's believed that Israel and the U.S. carried out that covert operation. Indian Air Force IAF Chief RKS Bhadauria asserted that the Made in India aircraft TEJAS is far better and advanced than the Chinese-Pakistani JF-17 fighter jets. This comes after Indian government approved a deal worth 48,000 rupees crore to procure 83 indigenously developed light combat aircraft (LCA) TEJAS for the Indian Air Force. Bhadauria said when asked to compare the Indian fighter with the JF-17, Indian aircraft TEJAS is far better and advanced than the Chinese and Pakistan joint venture JF-17 fighter. On whether the TEJAS would be able to carry out the Balakot-type airstrikes, the air chief said, "In terms of strike capability, it will have the capability of a standoff weapon, which will be even beyond the capability we used that time." The Russian military planned to operate more than 32 Tu-160 bombers and its variants by 2027. In an interview with the Defense Ministry's Krasnaya Zvezda, Deputy Defense Minister Alexei Krivoruchko revealed that the Air Force's fleet of Tu-160 supersonic strategic bombers missile carriers would grow more than 50% in the next 7 years. Viewers may note that the military currently operates 16 units of Tu-160s that are of different modifications. The minister stated, "The government contracts have already been concluded and work is underway to produce more of these strategic aircraft. They will begin to enter the troops in 2021. The minister added that deep modernization of the Tu-95MS turboprop strategic missile-carrying bombers will also continue. North Korea leadership has shed light on the possible future course of relations with the United States during the 8th Congress of the ruling party. During the conference, the U.S. was referred to as the country's biggest enemy, and the party stressed that an improvement in relations would rely on the United States ending what it referred to as hostile policies toward the country. During the Workers' Party Congress, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un stated regarding the possibility of a resumption of testing of strategic weapons, "It's necessary to do so as to actively and fully deter and control the military threat that's forced on the Korean Peninsula, improving nuclear technologies, reducing the size and weight, and increasing the strategic power of nuclear weapons." He again emphasized the country's no first-use policy regarding its nuclear arsenal, stating that nuclear weapons would not be used unless hostile forces try to use nuclear weapons targeting us. The U.S. Navy's next-generation guided missile destroyer will likely have futuristic weapons consisting of both laser weapons and hypersonic missiles. Speaking at the virtual Surface Navy Association conference on Tuesday, Rear Admiral Paul Schließ said the service needs a ship that can generate enough power to drive more sophisticated radars, electronic warfare systems, and directed energy weapons in order to keep up with developments in Russia and Chinese missile technology, according to Defense One. "We look to large and energetic hypersonic missiles to remind those adversaries that no target is out of range, at least not for long." Schließ added, "We need to ship to achieve these goals." The new vessel, dubbed the DDG-X and previously known as the DDG-Next, and the large surface combatant, is intended to replace the Navy's existing fleet of 22 aging Ticonderoga-class warships. According to a Congressional Research Service report, Ticonderoga-class warships will reach the end of their projected service lives within the next 17 years. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.